It has been a wild month for the economy and the stock market, and things just accelerated over the last 48 hours. So if you are an investor, you want to pay attention because three things happened at the exact same time. Number one, oil prices have gone up so much that in response, a few dozen countries got together and agreed to strategically release 400 million barrels of oil to bring oil prices down. Well, in response, oil prices actually went up, not down, by almost 10% because of new concerns about the war in Iran and the Middle East. Number two, after the United States Supreme Court said that the United States tariffs were illegal, a judge just ruled that the government must now pay that tariff revenue back to businesses. That is going to hurt the government's revenue and something you want to pay attention to here in the United States. And number three, private credit just dug a deeper hole on Wall Street because Morgan Stanley just blocked investors from pulling their money out from their private credit funds as well. This is after BlackRock banned investors from pulling their money out and Blackstone banned investors from pulling their money out. So things are getting deeper on Wall Street, and you want to pay attention to that because these things can have a ripple effect, and a lot of people still are not talking about it. So you want to understand before the problem gets worse. So let me break this down one by one, and this is why on March 18th, I'm hosting a live, free, and virtual investor workshop where I'm going to be going over, number one, how these changes in the economy change investment opportunities, and number two, how they create better and unique investment opportunities for the financially savvy. That way you're not chasing investments. You can see where opportunities are moving. It's a free workshop. It's live. I'm doing it twice on March 18th, once in the morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and again in the evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. There's going to be so much value in there. So if you're an investor, I invite you to join for free. And as an added bonus, when you actually show up live on March 18th, my team is going to give you a free digital copy of our new book, How Money Changed Forever, that you're going to get if you show up live on the workshop on March 18th. Now, we do have a limited number of people that actually show up live. So if you are interested in joining, I'd recommend you register soon. I have the link for you down in the description below. So let's jump into this, starting with oil prices. What happened with oil is that oil prices went up to around $110 a barrel, which means gas prices were going up. That impacts grocery prices. That impacts the prices of everything because when oil prices go up, everything becomes more expensive. And in response to this, the United States, along with a handful of other countries, got together and they said that we are going to now release 400 million barrels of oil out of energy reserves. Why does that matter? Because this is the biggest strategic oil release that we've ever seen. The last time we've seen something like this happen was back in 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine. And during that time, we released about 180 million barrels of oil, less than half. So this is the biggest strategic oil reserve release ever. And the idea was to bring oil prices down to help calm the economy, calm inflation down. Well, in response, oil prices actually went up by almost 10%. Why? Because of concerns about how long this war in the Middle East can go on and how it can impact inflation and oil prices. And if you do the math, 400 million barrels of oil, it's a lot, but it's not going to save the world's oil supply. So what's going on in the Middle East is not only is Iran a big producer of oil, but they control something called the Strait of Hormuz. And through that strait, millions of barrels of oil get transported every single day, or they used to. Well, after the United States attacked Iran, they stopped and closed that strait, saying because of this war, we're not going to allow business to happen. We're not going to allow allies of the United States to get this oil anymore, which made it extremely difficult now for these companies to be able to transport oil from one place in the world to the other, which then caused the prices of oil to go up. Then the hope was that maybe this war would end soon and the strait would open up. Well, it doesn't look like that's going to be happening. Maybe it will, but based off of what we know today, it looks like this war is going to be continuing and the strait is going to be continued to shut down. Well, that was when the United States, along with other countries, said we're going to release these huge oil reserves. Well, the 400 million barrels of oil reserves are nice, except here's some math. Global oil consumption is 100 million barrels of oil a day. So the 400 million barrels of oil that's being released is about 4 days worth of global oil reserves. Not to mention that the Strait of Hormuz has about 20 million barrels of oil a day that typically flow through it. So it's a very short-term band-aid. And if this war continues, it is going to hurt oil prices for the long run, which is why investors did not feel a lot of relief when these strategic oil reserves were released. So what's going to happen? We don't know. It depends on how long this war goes on, and the longer that the war goes on, the longer oil prices will continue to stay high. And again, higher oil prices impact the prices of everything, which is why people are starting to get more concerned about inflation again. Then we have to talk about number 2, tariffs. So over the last year or so, the United States government collected a little bit over $150 billion in tariffs. Well, earlier, the Supreme Court said that those tariffs are illegal. And the Supreme Court said, we don't know what's going to happen with the tariff revenue, if the government has to pay it back or not. Well, a judge just ruled on this and said that that tariff revenue has to be paid back. Let me read you exactly what the judge said. Quote, "The duties," meaning tariffs, "were unlawful from the moment they were imposed, and that means every single cent must be returned to the importer," which means every dollar of tariff that was collected by the United States government has to be paid back plus interest. Well, in response to this, what the government said is, we don't know how to do that because there are so many different businesses that paid these tariffs, and there are so many dollars that we don't have the ability to pay this tariff money back. Well, the judge responded to that as well. The judge said, figure it out. Computers have become much more advanced, and you have to pay interest for every day that you delay. $700 million in interest every single month that these tariffs get delayed. Now, the reason why this matters is because, of course, tariffs are a tax. It's a tax ultimately paid by people. Now, you can say, yes, businesses pay the tax when they import products, which is true, but then businesses often pass that cost down to consumers. How do I know? Well, the Harvard Business School found that about 25% of the tariff cost was absorbed by consumers. The other 75% was absorbed by businesses. Well, this refund is going to go to the companies like the Costco's, the Walmarts, the Targets, and the FedExes, but the money's going to come out of the United States government, and the interest is going to come from the United States government. And the United States government has one source of revenue: tax dollars from taxpayers. So it looks like this is going to be an ongoing thing, which is going to continue to rack up interest. But you imagine that that's going to put a dent in the government's pockets as well, which is something that ultimately taxpayers will have to pick up. And then number 3, and arguably now the most financially concerning, especially on Wall Street right now, is what's going on with private credit. Now, I've made a couple of videos talking about this, but I'll give you the quick backstory. Over the last number of years, there was a lot of companies that wanted to borrow money for their businesses, but they couldn't get that money from a traditional bank like Wells Fargo or Bank of America or JP Morgan Chase Bank. So instead what they did is they went to these hedge funds that were issuing private credit loans. Now, these private credit loans are available for businesses that don't qualify for these traditional loans, but they come at a high premium. These hedge funds now have to borrow money from somewhere because they're not traditional banks. So regular people like you, me, big investors, billionaires, and other institutions and banks could invest money into these hedge funds that these hedge funds would then lend out to other people. Now, why would anybody invest money into these hedge funds? Well, because these hedge funds were promising huge returns, 8% a year, 10% a year, 15% a year in interest on your money, because then these businesses would pay even higher than that. So you can see why people were attracted to these loans. Well, the problem was these hedge funds were lending money to businesses that were losing money. The IMF did a study. They found that about 40% of the businesses that were borrowing money from these hedge funds were negative cash flow, meaning they were losing money every single day, and then they would go out and raise a few $100 million from these hedge funds. Well, because interest rates have been higher for the last few years, these businesses have begun to struggle, and not just struggle. Over the last number of months, more and more of these businesses have begun to default. And if you're default or bankrupt, you're not going to pay your loans back, which means these hedge funds that were investing money now don't have money to pay back the investors. And who are the investors? It's regular people, it's rich people, and it's banks. Well, once the news started to come out about these hedge funds losing money, people try to pull their money out. And as people try to pull their money out, these hedge funds were on the verge of collapsing, so they stopped withdrawals. It started when some of the smaller funds like Blackstone and Blue Owl paused withdrawals. They said, you know what, you can't pull your money out. Then it started to hit the bigger asset managers. BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world, started to feel this pain last week because people were trying to pull their money out of BlackRock, and then BlackRock said, no more. You cannot pull your money out, because if people kept pulling their money out, that fund would collapse. So that created concerns, and that hurt the BlackRock stock. And remember, BlackRock is the largest asset manager in the world. And then, more recently, Morgan Stanley had the exact same thing happen. People then started to pull their money out of Morgan Stanley's private credit funds. They said no more because they were worried about their private credit fund collapsing as well. Why does this matter? Because there's a lot of banks that are involved, that are exposed to this private credit risk. We know that these hedge funds are hurting. We know now that people can't pull their money out. We don't know the extent of the problem. And that's the concern, because a lot of banks were investing their money into these hedge funds. And if these hedge funds start to struggle more or they collapse, that means these banks are going to hurt. Now, which banks are we talking about? We're talking about banks like Wells Fargo, the big banks out there. So the concern is, if this continues, we could see a big domino effect on Wall Street, which could cause some of the firms on Wall Street to go bankrupt. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, this is contained just to some private credit companies. This is not as big of a deal as some people make it seem. Well, we've heard that story before. And I'm telling you this so you pay attention, because you don't want to be blindsided if things do get worse. Because yes, people are concerned about these private credit funds because so many of them have been limiting withdrawals, which makes sense. But the reason why they're concerned is because the businesses that have been borrowing money are not paying that money back, which has concerns about the economy. So it's something you want to pay attention to as an investor, and I will keep you posted here on what happens, but it can have impacts, and it can also create investment opportunities for the financially savvy, because anytime there's pain, there's stress, there's panic, it also creates opportunities for the financially savvy. That's one of the things that I'm going to be going over. I'm a workshop on March 18th. Again, if you haven't registered for that, that link is for you down in the description. But these changes create opportunities for the financially savvy, and there's a lot of changes happening in the economy right now. And the ones that will be able to grow their wealth are not the ones that are panicking. It's the ones that are studying and researching and identifying that opportunity. And that's my goal on March 18th, to be able to help you identify how things are changing. So if you got value out of this video, the best thank you is a referral. So if you could, please share this video with a friend, family member, colleague, or fellow investor. That way we can continue to spread this type of financial education. Thank you. President Trump just confirmed that he wants to get rid of your income tax. Take a listen.
I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern-day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.